Saturday, May 14th. This versus right here is being billed as a fight night versus between Cypress Hill, Onyx. Cypress Hill versus Onyx. What's going on, y'all? What's the deal? It's AP. Thank you for watching as always. And do remember, subscribe right here, right here to my YouTube channel. And let's talk just a little bit about this versus that was announced a couple weeks ago, but we're getting closer to that May 14th date. So I figured I'd talk about it, but it's really not that much to say. I mean, full disclosure, this versus right here, I was debating on even to talk about it because it's so unmatched and uneven and unbalanced. This versus is going to be a wash. I'm gonna straight up tell y'all, Cypress Hill will be overwhelmingly winning this versus Onyx. Fredro was actually on Vlad TV. If you watch Vlad TV, he was speaking this versus into existence a couple months ago when the interviewer asked him, who would you want to go up against in a versus? And Fredro was like, he wanted to go up against Cypress Hill. Why? I have no idea. To me, this versus should have been Cypress Hill versus Naughty by Nature because they both have about the same amount of underground hits, street hits and street anthems, and both songs that were big on the pop charts. And Onyx just, I mean, they just don't have nowhere near, even though Onyx, when I was counting it earlier, Onyx got like maybe like 7, 8 albums out or something like that, maybe even 9 right now. They nowhere near have the longevity and the catalog and the extensiveness of the quality of bangers and hits and mass appeal hits that Cypress Hill has. It's not even close. I mean, I counted literally Onyx having about 8 songs that they would be able to put in a versus up against Cypress Hill that would be formidable. Everything else would just be throwaway tracks that they had on their album. I mean, let's just get right into it. Onyx, the songs that I have that Onyx would perform in a versus that would go over well and people would know. Everybody not gonna know all of these songs by Onyx. That's the crazy thing. That's why this versus is so unorthodox. But the songs that I'm picking that Onyx will definitely have that would be moving and that would shift the atmosphere in his verses would be Back the F Up, Throw Your Guns. Those are 2 anthems right there off their first album, Back the F Up. Throw Your Guns, Shifty, which was my joint. Shifty was my favorite song, one of my early favorite songs by Onyx, one of my favorite songs by Onyx in general. Then, of course, their mega anthem, Slam, which is their massive joint. Last Days, which was, that beat has been freestyled over by everybody for the last 25 years since it came out in the early mid 90s. Last Days, it was famously put in the movie 8 Mile with Eminem and like I said, everybody's freestyled over it. Last Days was a classic. And then after that, you know, Onyx catalog gets kind of suspect after 4 songs. I mean, listen, they got All We Got Is Us, which is off the album, All We Got Is Us, but that song wasn't anywhere, you know, earth-shattering or anywhere near a banger when it came out. Then off of their 3rd album, they had Shut 'Em Down, which was the title track off that album, Shut 'Em Down, which was a banger. That was a classic song. I love that song. And then React, and you know, and that song React actually featured 50 Cent before 50 was known as 50. So after that, Onyx catalog is only like 7, 8 songs deep here. So I don't know where they're going with this. I don't know if this is going to be a full 20-song versus because to me, it can't be a 20-song versus because Onyx don't have 10 songs, let alone 20. I mean, what is Onyx going to perform? They're going to start performing songs off the show soundtrack, you know, Live Ends, let all the live niggas in, kick all the out, you know what I'm saying? Live, that was the joint, but you know, I don't know about this. It gets kind of murky and kind of sketchy. Whereas Cypress Hill could be on that stage all night. I mean, I'm just gonna run down a few of the Cypress Hill joints. Cypress Hill got like, what, 10 albums, songs that was massive, songs that were crossover, top 40 joints, top 10 joints on the Billboard 100 charts that everybody can identify with, not just necessarily the hip hop crowd. Cypress Hill had Cypress Hill greatest song of all time. Me personally, How I Could Just Kill a Man. We don't even need to, we can stop right there. Then we got Insane in the Brain, which was a major hit back in like, what was that, like 93, 92. Throw Your Set in the Air, that joint they had. The remix was, who was it? Redman and Eric Sermon. MC8 was on that hot joint right there. Rap Superstar, which was a major stadium anthem song. When the ish goes down, you better be ready. You better be ready. Send-dog voice. Boom Biddy Bye Bye. Dr. Green Thumb. I'm having illusions. I mean, hand on the pump. Hits from the bong. Tequila Sunrise. The Funky Phil one. Yes, it's the real one. Yep, the Funky Phil one. Let's just keep it going. It's just like, we got, what else we got? I mean, it's just like, I could keep going. It's not even close to me. I mean, maybe it'll be closer with them in the venue, you know, but I think one thing that Onyx will bring, and speaking of Onyx, you know what I mean, where is Sun C? Sun C was probably the most underrated man and unused member in that group. You know, I know Sticky Fingers was that dude. Sticky Fingers was that guy. He had the voice and he had the flow, and Sticky Fingers had that energy. And Sticky is probably my favorite, you know, one out of the three in the group, obviously, because, you know, Fredro was dope too, but Sticky, I just gravitated towards Sticky a little bit more because he had that voice, that interjection and that energy, and you could just feel it when he rhymed. And when he was spitting. But Sun C, we need to see a Sun C appearance in this verses. Sun C, he left Onyx in the early mid 2000s, like around 2009. He left Onyx, you know, for a solo career that didn't really pop off whatsoever. And he's just been absent from the group ever since. I mean, we rarely see Sun C, but Sun C, we need to see Sun C on this verses to make it the triple threat that Onyx is Fredro, Sticky Fingers, and Sun C. But I digress. But yeah, like what I could see Onyx bringing to this versus, Onyx will definitely bring that energy. And this is built as, like I said, a fight night versus the where they're going to have Holyfield has like a exhibition boxing match or something like that, and Triller is doing like boxing matches mixed intertwined with the verses. So I don't know if Cypress Hill and Onyx are going to be performing in the middle of the rounds or in the middle of the fighters fighting their matches or whatever, but that would make more sense instead of just having a big versus event and say Cypress do 20 and Onyx do 20, because Onyx don't have 20. It would make sense for them to kind of intertwine the music with the fights, because Onyx is gonna bring that energy. That's one thing that Fredro and Sticky is gonna bring. Sticky is all, and Fredro is gonna always bring that energy. So it's gonna be hard to match that certain energy and that electricity that Onyx is gonna bring. But, but as you know, or as you should know, Cypress Hill and Be Real brings that energy too. I don't know if it's gonna be that same electric energy and rah-rah energy that Onyx is gonna bring, but I mean, Be Real is used to performing in front of massive amounts of stadium crowds and diverse mixed crowds and the mosh pit and the slam dancers and all of that. So I'm not saying this versus is going to be interesting, but it's just going to be interesting. It's just going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see this. It's going to be interesting to see this format and see how it's all going to be laid out, because hands down, Cypress Hill has the better catalog, has the more longer catalog than Onyx. Onyx can't match Cypress Hill. But on a side note, sidebar to this, Versus got to pick up the speed here. I mean, it's 2022, and I know we getting into the summer months and things like that, but Versus has been kind of falling off just a little bit. Just a little bit. Versus have been falling off. The Versus that we've seen so far this year has only been one, and that was the Music Soul Child and Anthony Hamilton one, which was a little lackluster. The Versus hasn't been making that much noise this year, you know what I'm saying, with the quality and the frequency that they're coming out with as many verses as they did last year. So, you know, I know they have some announced that they really haven't disclosed yet. We got the BB and CC Winans joint jumping off to celebrate Easter and all of that. I totally understand the meaning and, you know, behind that, but Versus got to pick up the beat here. We gotta keep the beat. She acts like Rakim voice. She acts, could I keep the beat? So here's the beat. Versus got to get on the beat, because they've been coming out with some weak verses, you know what I'm saying, over the last one or two. The last one that they had was kind of weak. So, you know, hopefully I'm thinking that they're going to pick the momentum up now that it's summertime. But I want to know what y'all got to think, of course. Leave me a comment in the comment section, and I will be awaiting to hear what y'all think about this versus and any upcoming verses. It is AP. I will talk to y'all later. One love. Peace.